Last week, Elon Musk and SpaceX launched a Falcon 9 rocket spaceship into Earth's low orbit and sent something like 48 satellites up there with it, and then returned its first stage booster to Earth. Now, you can't go off and accomplish something like that just with positive thinking. You can't say, I want to do that, I want to launch a rocket off into Earth and into Mars, and I want it to return back to Earth so I can reuse it. And it's just going to happen. I'm going to visualize that, I'm going to use positive affirmations and positive thinking, and that's going to be the reality of the situation. In fact, Elon Musk and SpaceX do the exact opposite. They go off and hire conveyancing companies and teams of people, red teams, to go in there to SpaceX and go into their space shuttles to find every single possible thing that could actually go wrong. And they use negative thinking to find all the problems and find all the challenges and find all the things that could go wrong, so they can solve as many of those problems in advance as possible, or they can have contingencies in place to solve them if those problems do arise. So I'm going to go off and make a statement that if you want to do something amazing or extraordinary with your trading, with your life, with any area of your life, you can't just be using positive thinking. But that's not to say that positive thinking doesn't have a place. And this is my perspective on it. I think no matter where and what you do, if you want to do something amazing, you have to be aware of both sides of the equation. You have to be aware of the advantages and the benefits and the services, the positive parts you're going to get from a particular endeavor. But you also have to be aware of all the risks, all the drawbacks, and everything that could potentially go wrong, so that you can plan contingencies and mitigate as many of those possible things in advance, and put those things in place now, or be aware of them, so if they do arise, those risks do arise, you can manage those effectively. So positive thinking is not what I promote. Neither is negative thinking. I promote using both strategically to be balanced, so you can go off and be aware of both sides of the equation, and either way, you're prepared, you're planned, and you're prepared. Now, one of the most common scenarios or common goals for traders is they want to go off and get funded. And I work with clients over and over on this particular goal. I've worked with hundreds of clients on a one-to-one basis to help them accomplish this particular goal. So my 12-week challenge is completely designed to help traders accomplish this goal. And one of the exercises I take them through is that exact process. I help them go through and find every single thing that could potentially go wrong. And this does a few things. First and foremost, it balances their expectations. So now they've got more realistic, balanced expectations. They've taken the goal off the pedestal, and just that alone, they're more likely to accomplish it, because now they're certain of the goal. They're not lacking confidence or self-minimizing relative to the goal, and they're aware of both sides of the goal, not just the fantasy, one-sided fantasies, positive thinking fantasies they're imposing on it. The other thing this allows them to do is, like we've mentioned with SpaceX, with Elon Musk, with all those types of things, you now have a list of everything that could potentially go wrong, all the risks, all the drawbacks, and you can plan for those. You can go into your computer and ask yourself, all right, how can I lower the probability of this thing happening? And if it does happen, how can I lower the impact that's going to have on my life? And you plan for those things and you put action steps in place. In my opinion, if your goals, if your trading, if your life is very important to you, you want to go off and accomplish something amazing, don't just use positive thinking. Use negative thinking as well to get yourself balanced, to get yourself aware of both sides of the equation. Then bring in some level of planning and contingencies to ensure you're prepared either way. And in my opinion, that's the pathway to great achievement. And I want to bring Elon Musk, SpaceX in here, because they're doing amazing things. They're doing things beyond what people think is even possible right now, and that's what they're doing. So I think we can all learn a lesson from Elon Musk and SpaceX. Don't rely on positive thinking. Use it when you're down in the dumps, and go in and find the benefits and the advantages, just to get yourself back to that point of balance, back to that point of equilibrium, so you can see both sides of the equation. But when you're up here elated, you need to use negative thinking to bring yourself back to a grounded state. You need to be aware of both sides of the equation. And that's my message for today.